Welcome to Fizz TV Plus on FTSN. I'm your host, Sammy, aka Sammy, and as always, my co-host Eddie Chapos, the controversial one. Eddie, welcome back to Fizz TV Plus on FTSN.
Great to be here, Sammy.
Well, it's been, kind of a weird week. On Fizz TV on Tuesday, we talk about how that win against the Saints, they kind of didn't really feel like a win. The Dolphins, were expected by many to basically crush the Saints. The Dolphins came out to a so-so start. The offense looked kind of sputtery. The defense was playing okay, but that second half, the Saints did not give up. They came coming each and every time. I want to first of all your thoughts about the game it was against the Saints on Sunday, Eddie.
Offensively, they were very disappointing. Defense played well enough. I mean, the Saints have played good in spurts. I mean, they gave Buffalo all they could handle in Buffalo. You can't take any team lightly in the NFL. Anybody, I think, except the Titans can beat anybody. Even the Titans have one win, but it is what it is. It's a win. I'll take it. At least they were losing all them kind of games earlier in the season, so it's kind of like, what are you going to do? It's a win.
Absolutely. But what worrisome about the game was that the regression of Tua. We talked so many times about Tua doesn't look the same this year, but that game on Sunday, the difference was I said on the Fizz Post show, Fizz Talk Post show with Fistanza and Bobby, that so many times the people say, no, Tua sucks, so bad Tua, but and they were kind of right, but this is real bad Tua. That wasn't bad Tua. That was not good enough Tua, but this was bad. Tua's velocity, he could not escape the rush in the pocket. The accuracy was way off. It looks like the physical tools had diminished drastically. I want to know your thoughts because it's worrisome. I know there were trouble. There was a trouble. There were problems, but that kind of change into all of a sudden is really, really worrisome. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Everything you said is right. It's he looked slower than ever in that game. He looked slower than he did the last time they played. He got lucky on the one play that the lineman was there to hold him up, or he would have fallen over from nothing. I don't know who it was, but he ran into the lineman, and that actually kept him from falling over. I think because of his mobility issue right now, I think he has lost all confidence he's had, and I think it's affecting his throw. His timing is way off. You know how I stand on his arm strength. It's generated from them hips, and I think it's catching up. I think he's an old, what is he, 27 years old?
Yes.
Is that how old he is? So. He's an old 27, 26, whatever he is.
He kind of talked about it, that he felt like the physical tools were not there for him during the early part of the season. But even right now, it's even worse. I don't know if it's the hip. We talked about probably sometimes about the hip is a problem, and that last year was the other hip, and that's over time it gets worse and worse. But that affects your throw, your throwing power, your accuracy. So I don't know if Stua basically knows there's a problem, but he hasn't realized how much of a problem. And, he's trying to, his mind is going one way and his physical tours going the other. But for me, who's always been a Tua supporter, I will never deny it. It's sad. It's not only frustrating for me, it's sad because it's so much. The decay is so much, Eddie. It's sad. I could not believe it on Sunday when even the game was the Commanders. The pass, I think there was a play. I think it was Von Miller who looked so quick running, and Tua, it was like those cartoons where you think he's running but staying in the same place.
He's going, just staying in place like he was in quicksand.
Exactly, he was in quicksand. It was like I was like, wow. But on Sunday, I know the turf was very good. They talked during the game about the drainage was good, the field looked good. I'm not gonna say that the field was bad, and that was because it was wet. That's no excuse. But Eddie, take me off the ledge if you can, and tell me why. Maybe it's bad, but it's not as bad as what on Sunday. Is there any chance that it's only gonna get worse, or do you think there's probably maybe a chance that Tua had a day off, and maybe we'll see something better this Sunday against the Jets.
Well, I think he definitely had a bad day. Can it get a little better? Absolutely, it can get a little better. His accuracy can improve. He can not miss wide open Achane over the middle, who would have walked into the end zone. He could have thrown a better ball to Waller, who would have caught a touchdown. Them were all on Tua. I mean, them were bad passes. Can he hit them? Yeah, but like I said, I think it's so in his head that he can't move. I got to get the ball out quick. It's messing with his mind. And will it get better? I don't know. I don't think it will. I think it can only get worse. I think he's hit his peak. I think McDaniel even kind of called it out this week. He said, we got to get better play from the quarterback position. And that's good to hear McDaniel say that, and you have to call out everybody. And that was the biggest problem with the game. It sure wasn't the running game. It wasn't the offensive line. The defense did their part. They created turnovers, and the offense couldn't score. And most of that couldn't score was because of Tua.
Yes, and he's being protected. The pass rush was okay. It wasn't a huge pass rush. And sometimes Tua, as he sees the pressure coming, he lowers his head. He's looking to scramble. He just the quicksand again. He just can't skate the pocket. And you know that play when he started to run for the first down and he slid too early, right? And then he points so heavy at the first down and he's short. That was so cartoonish.
And then what happened on the next play? They got stuffed.
They got stuffed. Yeah, from an attack from behind on the garden. But I'm not trying to defend Tua. I'm gonna defend him by default. But sometimes we complain yesterday, last season about Tua not being smart enough to protect himself, to slide when he had to throw it away when he needed to. Now he's doing it, and I see so many people criticizing. It's frustrating. I'm frustrated too, but you cannot have it both ways sometimes. Either he protects himself or he does the stupid plays that we're gonna blame him for. Why did he slide? Well, he slid.
It was fine. He slid. He just has to know when to start the slide or have the ball out a little bit further. To be fair, that 4th and 1 where they got stuffed, that was Ollie Gordon's fault.
Yes.
I don't know what he was doing.
He had a chance to go forward and he started
jamming up in the middle and have somebody push him. He would have got it. But yeah, I understand the slide, and I know he's not going to get out of his own way. He needs to get down, but just know where the first down is and slide after it. He had another few feet before anybody was going to touch him.
Absolutely. The defense played better for sure. The secondary has been, a nice surprise. I you know me. I call it from the beginning. I call it in week 1, week 2, week 3. I said that the Dolphins won the Ramsey Fitzpatrick trade.
That was a king. Now it's a national meeting.
Yes.
I will say right here that Sammy called that before anybody in the national media did. Everybody said the Dolphins got robbed, and they did not.
I don't want to be the voice of reason as other people, but I also called them. I mean, I will not get fired when people say he's gonna get fired, and he's not gonna get fired. He's the only head coach that ever liked Steven Ross. I really like, so he's not gonna get fired. But the defense played better. The running defense is much better.
Yes,
Biggers is playing. For a late pick, he's playing outstanding, and
looks good.
Yeah, and they're playing better. So Anthony Weaver might get into the head coach conversation during the offseason. If he's a head coach somewhere, the Dolphins get 2 third-round picks. So I'm gonna be rooting for him, no matter what.
I think it'll be more next year. He'll be getting in the head coach cycle, but we'll see.
I know our friend Fitzstanza said that maybe some between 8 and 9 openings. I don't see it. I think maybe at most 3 or 4, but time will tell. Our guest is here. Let's go to a special guest, Russ Morgan. Let me go to the intro because I'm a dumbass. And here we go. Russ, welcome to FTB Plus on FTSN.
Hi, Sammy. Thanks for having me. I'm in enemy territory tonight. I'm used to it. I'm a, I'm a, I'm a guy from LA. I'm a guy from LA who hates the Lakers with a passion.
Oh,
I'm used to being in enemy territory. It doesn't bother me. I love it.
we call it behind enemy lines here. Behind enemy lines here on FTB Plus. Before we start with you, let's go to some of the comments because I thought it was so. Tua is done. Eddie, they're basically, that's what many people are calling this. Calling Tua is done, and we will try hard to lose the game the Jets, but we'll probably win. That's the take. Eddie fixes his chair, but before that, Sammy and Eddie look like 6'7" in legit high difference. He's the one who's 6'7". I'm only 5'9", so Eddie is the big guy over here. Question: why will he kill himself? He got paid already. He's a competitor. Sometimes instincts take over, and it took a while. Even
he was a competitor now. I don't know.
I don't know. Last year he got paid. He was still sliding like a dumbass. So
yeah,
I don't think this is the reason because he got paid. Because last year
right.
he was already paid and he was still being a dumbass. So yeah, I can understand the point, but I don't necessarily agree with it. Come on, guys, you know who to blame. Who to blame for Tua's regression?
Yes,
please put in the comments. Yes, please put in the comments. Evan to blame? I will blame Emma for sure. I have broad shoulders. I've seen Evan, and he's very proud of that. Good for you, buddy. I'm very happy you're proud about that. I blame him for the coordinator. Yeah,
No.
It's like Fistanza is talking. It's like Evan is talking because please go and Evan. Please defend yourself. Please say in the comments who finish it. I'm so jealous watching other teams do this right now. Yes, there's no denying that, But I'll tell you what, there's been I want to start with Ross going, over the whole league. I'm going to start with you, Ross, saying if you ask me, there's been a lot of bad quarterback play, team play this year. The league is kind of weird. The standings are weird, but the quarterback play around the league is not as bad. It's not as good. It's really bad. So what are your thoughts? Because they're saying that there's bad play, but the Jets, I don't want to pick on you, but the Jets kind of had the same problem the Dolphins with the quarterback situation right now. They has some hopes on Justin Fields, but right now he's not the guy.
I mean, on the quarterback play, I've talking to people down here. I'm in Florida. I'm like, they got to realize, and I think yes, the AFC's got great quarterbacks. You got Mahomes, you got Lamar. I'm like, the NFC is way better, way deeper. I mean, I think we both can agree on one thing. Me being a Jets fan, you being a Dolphins fan. I hate Patriots fans.
Oh, thank the Lord.
They're coming out of the woodworks now, like, we're back.
There's a lot of people from Boston here, and they, we're winning the Super Bowl. I'm like, you guys have played 5 of the 6 teams in the top of the draft. But I mean, there's been a lot of bad quarterback play. I mean, you look at Jalen Hurts. That offense looks abysmal. I don't even want to watch the Eagles play because of that offense is so terrible to watch. I mean, on the AFC side, I mean, Drake Mays looked phenomenal. I don't know what you're going to get with him in the playoffs, being a second-year guy. Bo Nix, yeah, they've won some games, but I think it's more on their defense with the Broncos there. So, I mean, I can't really give you an honest opinion on what I'm going to see in the future the NFL for the playoffs this year. I mean, being a guy who's not going to have a team in the playoffs, I just want good football.
Absolutely. Drake May, if you go to he's disciplined. That's going for him. During the regular season, it's good to be disciplined. You're gonna win games doing that. When play on time, that's completely different. The level of competition is different. That you need your defense and your running game to bail you out sometimes, and the pressure is there. So it remains to be seen. If he doesn't get the first round bye, he gets, for example, the Bills in the first round. That should be very, very interesting matchup because Josh Allen's experience against someone making first playoff start. The Patriots might be one and done, so we have to see. Eddie, what are your thoughts about what I think that it's not only in Miami the bad quarterback play, the whole league is marked right now by kind of bad teams at some level and very bad quarterback play even from established quarterbacks.
Yeah, just around. We'll just say stay in the AFC for a little bit. Lamar Jackson hasn't he didn't look so great the other night. You said Jalen Hurts, that's the NFC, but he looks terrible. Justin Herbert's up and down.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence is, I don't even know. I guess that's the defense winning in that, because he's horrible to me. I think he's the most overrated quarterback in the NFL, and I'm sick of hearing about him. And nobody ever says he's bad, but he is. Look at Michael Penix in Atlanta. He's turned into
Talking about
nothing.
regression, yes.
The whole league. Jaden Daniels. I don't know what happened to CJ Stroud now, if he's playing this week or not. But even before that, he regressed. The whole Aaron Rodgers, I think, is done. They haven't completed a pass over 20 yards, I think, in the air all season. That'll happen when they play Miami. He'll throw an 80-yard bomb, of course. But I know you could say, it's bad for the Jets, of course. It's bad for us. But you look around, it's not that good anywhere. I mean, besides the top tier quarterbacks, Josh Allen, even he's had a kind of up and down year.
Even my Patrick
Mahomes is up and down. Great. Heck, Bryce Young looks good compared to some of these guys. I would have never thought I'd say that.
He looks better than CJ Stroud right now, so that's kind of weird because that got the general manager fired in Carolina. He's basically Brown's the right pick.
I don't know. And then I was impressed with Tyler Shuck, even though it's Shao. I don't know how they get Shuck out of that name. That was driving me nuts. But even he looked better than Tua on for the Saints.
The second half,
it's a crazy league this year. It really is. You think it'd be better quarterback play because everything gets called on the defenses, but it is what it is. It's bad football here, I guess. Besides a couple teams.
I think I agree with you on that. Like, I know you guys dump on Tua, but I mean, I'm a college football nut, so nut job. I'll watch more college football than I'll watch the NFL. Like, if I have to choose which one I'm sitting to watch, I'm sitting not doing anything on Saturday. So I mean, Tua coming out of college was tank for Tua. He's the best quarterback after his first year in Alabama. Yes, now that the offensive weapons they had at the time, yes, is a little different. The Dolphins now because Tyreek is out of this world when they had everybody, when they had Waddle, Achane, Tyreek. But you don't, and I've seen it on our side too. If you don't build up the offensive line, you're going to run these guys out like they did. Now we're seeing Sam Darnold succeed. He's got a good offensive line. Same thing with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was, I mean, we were right there in the running for Trevor Lawrence, and we had, cover zero blitz against the Raiders that Greg Williams probably called because Adam Gase turned him in for, Bounty Gate. And we won that game, but that was tank for Lawrence. We were supposed to get Lawrence. He's not looking like he's an NFL savior or anything or save the franchise. So I mean, it's definitely that's where I have a little upside as a Jets fan. Our offensive line is better now. You got to pick the right people, obviously. I mean, it's all crapshoot, but I mean, if you build from I know. They won't like the big uglies right there on the front line. That's where I think. I mean, Tua came from Alabama. He didn't get touched at Alabama. Besides, him coming back too early against Ole Miss and hurting his hip, and kind of, everything started going down south. So that's where I think it kind of, went down with Tua. But I mean, him coming out, people are like, his sophomore year is going to be the number one pick before he, played his junior year. And
he's better. I'm sorry.
So I mean,
I've been called a 20-year, 2 believe. I always been a 2 believer, but I've been criticized for saying this. I always believe that the Dolphins never got to Alabama 2 because that guy never made it back after that hip injury. And that year was the COVID year. The Dolphins, were stuck analyzing a quarterback they didn't have a complete workout with, that whole fiasco about, the videotape for the workout. Maybe it could have been different. Maybe they don't draft Tua nor Herbert. Maybe they don't draft either one of them. Maybe we'll see. We'll never know. But, sadly for the Dolphins, that never happened. And talking about having picks, since you're here, I want to talk some Jets. The Dolphins, that draft and the next upcoming draft after trading the Tunsil had a bounty of picks. That so many first round picks, second round picks, they had a bounty of picks. Right now is the Jets, which again a couple of years ago had a lot of picks. Turned those picks the other years, but now they have a bounty of picks. I truly believe that it's not having so many picks as having the right guy to make the picks. And as always, as Eddie always said, you need to know how to build a team properly. So how confident you feel in your Jets that basically will also be so many picks that they might finally turn things around with the next upcoming years?
Well, I mean, to go off, we've had plenty of picks and GMs. We had John Izek who had 12. Who had yeah, it's all. I'm always outnumbered on this on FTSN, so it's all good.
That only makes you brave. I admire that, Ross.
I'm always outnumbered, so I'll get there. But like I was like, I'll go on. I'll talk to Red Sox. I'm a Yankees fan. I got called a Red Sox fan because I know the Red Sox. I'll talk to Dolphins. I know my NFL. I don't care. Like I just love talking sports, But we had, when John Izek was there, we had 12 draft picks. He took all 12, and it didn't work out. I mean, we've had some very bad ones. Obviously, everybody knows the bad ones from Marino to passing on Warren Snap to we've had some good ones. It's all about just having the right guy. I like it. I like Darren Muji. I like Aaron Glenn. I really like Quinnen Williams. I really like Quinnen Williams. I hope he succeeds. I was sad to see him go, but I think he needed he's too good to be on our team. So I was kind of happy what they got for him, and I kind of admire him because you see these players in the NFL nowadays that they don't want to be there. They go on Twitter or X, whatever it's called. They go on social media and they blast it out. He made one comment, was like, "Hey, I want to win." That's all he said. Didn't say anything, and took it like a man, and kept it in house to help the Jets, and they helped him with the Sauce thing. I think Sauce is overrated. I think he's a great cover corner. He can't tackle to save his life. He got hurt in that Miami game on Monday Night Football because he was trying to tackle. He doesn't create turnovers. For them to get, Adonai Mitchell and 2 first-round picks from that, I was happy. But it's all about taking the right guys. I mean, it's all crapshoot in the draft. Everybody, I don't care if you're Mel Kiper or Todd McShay. They say this guy's, the next great quarterback. They don't know. They're just going off their opinion. If we're all going off of what, Mel Kiper said, Shedeur Sanders would be the greatest quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, everybody's on TV is undefeated. Who was that guy who was on NFL Network who later became the GM of the Raiders? And after 1 year, I think it was 1 year, he was out.
Mike Mayo.
Mike Mayo. He looks so smart. He looks so sharp. So that happens right now with that. I'm brain fire right now. The guy who's having his spin right now that so many Dolphins fans want for Dolphins GM. But you're undefeated. Right. You're undefeated when you're in ESPN, when you're in NFL Network. Nobody's coming at you. But when you have to make the decisions, it's always hard. Full disclosure, Russ, one of my favorite segments during the draft was every single year where they go to that segment with the Jets and Jets fans go, yo! They pick after pick after pick. But that has changed in the last decade. The Jets have some pretty okay or good, very good picks. But like Eddie, I'm gonna go to you. Is so many times, like you said with the Dolphins, it's not having just good picks. You need to know how to build a team, and that's the problem with the Jets right now, and that's the problem with the Dolphins. If you can have that amount of picks, an unbelievable amount of picks, but if you don't build the team the right way, you're not going anywhere, right, Eddie?
Absolutely. You have to be. I said it last week on the other show, and you have to be strong up the middle. You have to be built like the good baseball teams are, right down the middle. You have to be good. Just like you got a good second baseman, shortstop, center fielder, and then you build out. That's how I've always felt. This is like have a great offensive line, have a great defensive line. You can do whatever you want on the outside. Look at how Miami's doing with corners. As soon as the guys started putting pressure, the defensive line, the corners looked a lot better, even though nobody knows who they are. I mean, Rasul Douglas, everybody knows who he is. He's been around a long time. Jack Jones is kind of a name, but even the young guys, they're covering. You got to build right, and it's nice to go pick a fancy, flashy wide receiver, but you can usually find a really good one in the second round anymore. I mean, look at these. Just pick an Ohio State receiver in the second round, you're probably going to be all right. Look at the guy for the Bucs. Look how good he is. I can't say his name, but he's really good.
Emeka Ibuka.
Thank you. People don't like picking the big uglies. They like the fancy corners or the wide receivers. And usually them guys make it through the first contract and then they want too much money and then they're gone anyway. So you got to build that offensive line and defensive line right and then hang on to them. And you can always reload the other positions.
I mean, I'm with that, but I mean, like, yeah, it's all about taking the right offensive line. And like, we took Mekhi Becton.
Yes.
Mekhi Becton sucks. And, I mean, and yeah, he figured it out 1 year in Philadelphia, but now he can't stay healthy because, he came in his second training camp at over 400 pounds because we let him, stay with his family, and he just decided to eat Whataburger the whole time or something. So, I mean.
Oh, I absolutely agree on that. I mean, they took a defensive line this year. I wanted Tyler Warren. That's what Miami needed to tight end.
So we used to do the check down on FTSN, and it was me, Bobby, and Evan, and we were doing just a mock draft. And I said, hey, I don't want to do the Jets. You can do the Jets. I'll do the Dolphins. I'll take that. I'm like, I want to hear someone else's opinion. I took Tyler Warren. I'm like, I know you had Jonnu Smith at the time, but this guy's a generational tight end.
Yep. If
you watched him at Penn State.
That's what happened when you draft for need. The Dolphins got stuck after not resigning Calais Campbell, and you know what happened. They had to go for a defensive tackle. I think that was always the plan. I want to go to the head coach because the Dolphins have Mike McDaniel, who found some early success. I've never been a great video of Mike McDaniel, but he found early success with the Dolphins, getting them to the playoffs 2 years in a row. It's good when you start. You get some credibility when you start winning at first, but then the expectations, you need to take it to another level. Mike McDaniel has not done that. Now you have Aaron Glenn on the Jets, and it's kind of, I still remember doing that dance to the sideline. He's energetic, he's passionate as a player. He was very good as defensive coordinator for the Lions. But I want to know your thoughts of the job he's doing right now with the Jets. How confident you are in him going forward as the Jets head coach?
I'm starting to get more confident. I really, I mean, and as you know, I mean, the Jets going into every hiring process, because we seem to have a lot of turnover at coach. The Jets are always, down at the bottom, 6th, 7th. If you look at any, ESPN or whatever, it's please no, I hate it. I work at a school and I hear it all the time. I hate it. We're down at the bottom and there's 7 teams. We're 7th. No one wants to come here. So because of our track record, and that's fine. But for a guy who, played for the organization, who I grew up with, who wanted to be there, and I was like, okay, he wants to be here. He said he had unfinished business, after 98. He wants to bring a title in New York. Yeah. So, for a guy who wants to come to New York and win in New York, I love it. But it's tough. I was happy they won the first couple games. I wasn't expecting much this year because I'm like, even as much as the fan base love them, if you go 0-16, you're losing your job. I'm sorry, you're not going to keep your job going 0-16. There's a 99.9% chance you're getting fired. So after the Sauce and Quinnen Williams trade, I was like, maybe they're tanking. But I think now I'm seeing it after they beat the Bengals, which was great because I was on, was for Nick Mangle. They beat the Mangle. Nick Mangle just passed away that day. So that was great. And that probably ruined a lot of people's, parlays and pick'em leagues that game. Definitely a lot of people probably lost on that game because no one saw the Jets. So I just think what I'm seeing of the Jets is it's not more about the superstars that they have. It's bringing in the right guys. So I'm going maybe 6 wins at the most. Probably 4 or 5, maybe winning 1 or 2 more. But it's just I'm starting to see you're starting to see the passion that Aaron Glenn brings and the players buying into it, which is nice to see that.
You have to believe in the system. You have to believe in the quarterback. You need that leadership. And he's the kind of guy. Not the first thing he did when he got there, we said, I need Aaron Rodgers out of here. I think that gave him credibility because Aaron Rodgers, is not playing great in Pittsburgh right now. But the case would have been made for the Jets to keep him one more year as a quarterback compared to what they had this year. So yes. So he took some leadership. The franchise took some leadership. That's putting their foot down, saying it's time to move on. So he got started the right. He has to start right. But when you're losing, the losing stays with you. You don't start winning. So the pressure is there for him to find a way to win next year. This year, you might turn around the last couple of games. So you have enough picks to get the right quarterback. But I want to do the exercise with you and Eddie. I'm going to read you the list of the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks since 2014. Okay. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Nick Foles. Okay. He was the game MVP. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts. So you can have the offensive line you want, but it ends with the quarterback. If you get the right quarterback, the generational quarterback, you got a good chance to win a Super Bowl. Having 5 first-round picks in the next couple of years, so very good picks in that couple of years. If there's a quarterback, you as a Jets fan, you see that draft coming, I see Mendoza, the other names. Do you think that the Jets should go for the quarterback this year? Someone like Mendoza, keep building the offensive line, keep building the defensive line, and worry about the quarterback next. What would you do if you were the Jets GM?
The offensive line, we don't need to build anymore. We got our 2 bookends with Membu and Olufashion.
Oh, Membu's great. I love Membu.
And I know Evan was mad because he was like, I want Membu. And but so the offensive line's finally settled. I think that was part of the problem. Like with even Zach Wilson, the offensive line, if Aaron Rodgers didn't tear his Achilles that year, he would have got killed too with that offensive line. I don't care how great Aaron Rodgers was. Our offensive line went through like 25 changes that year. So Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer, would have got killed if he didn't tear his Achilles. I'm really struggling. I don't think there's a quarterback in this draft that's generational. But could I wait a full another year? I don't know if I could, but I don't know if I trust Mendoza or Simpson. I want to see another year of Dante Moore. I like the next year's crop of what I've seen now. Now I'm not going to be like these guys that you see on the NFL draft and be like, oh, Nick, because 26 is the greatest class ever. And now they're saying 27 is unbelievable.
Yes.
No,
yes.
like they were going off of one player. They were saying Arch Manning. Well, Arch Manning's looked flashes of good games.
Mortal, yes.
But he's had some very poor games too. So, and that's so I don't think I think Mendoza is probably the best quarterback in the draft. I think they play more of a simple pro-style offense there in Indiana. Ty Simpson's good, but he's showing flashes of not having great games in Alabama. So my thing is, if you look at this draft as a whole, there are some great offensive skill players and defensive players right there down in Miami with Dante Bain. If their defensive is phenomenal with Caleb Downs, and there's some unbelievable defensive players there too. That if it's not 100% your guy, I don't want the Jets to do what the Jets have done with just take a quarterback. We need a quarterback. I think if there's your guy there, take the best player. They took Zach Wilson just because they needed a quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Zach Wilson went 11-1, but it was during a COVID year. And if you look who they played, the best team they played was Coastal Carolina, and they lost.
So again, that happens when you draft for need, and if you're reaching for a quarterback, you get that pro. That's what I say about Tua and the Dolphins and Eddie too, because I see some fans who I want to do it now. Well, let's go and get whomever. But let's say we pick around 12, 13, and we want to go all in and get a rookie quarterback for Tua. Great, let's do it. Let's move up. You invest in the future for first this year and first next year, maybe I'm pretty sure a lot more than that, and you don't get the right quarterback, and now you're stuck with the wrong quarterback, and all those picks that are lost. Eddie, so basically we're having the same problem with Jesse. We move along from Tua this year, reaching out for a quarterback this draft class might be a problem. What do you think about that?
I would not trade up for a quarterback in this draft. The only one I kind of like is Mendoza, and I'm not sure that. I mean, this is as unsure on the quarterbacks coming out as I've ever been. I think Simpson needs to say that's his name, right? In Alabama, Simpson. Yeah. I think he needs to stay in school one more year. He has not looked good. They were lucky to win the game against Auburn the other night. This year, no, but you can go find a serviceable free agent and put Tua on the bench for a year. That's what I would do. And then next year, if there is somebody that blows your socks out or whatever, then try it. But I'm not sure this year. I mean, somebody might fall into your lap this year in the middle of the round or in the second round that turns out to be good. But I don't know. I wouldn't trade all my picks to move up for a quarterback in this draft. That's just my thought.
If Fernando Mendoza wins the Heisman this year, which he's the front runner, he'd have the worst stats of any quarterback in history to win the Heisman by like a large. Both him and his Julian Sain, who will be eligible next year. Their stats compared to like the guys who've won, Jaden Daniels and and they run. It's terrible.
And if a quarterback like that, like so many others, go to a franchise or a coach who doesn't know how to develop a quarterback, he's then in the water. So you're reaching for a quarterback and then you don't know how to develop him. You're rushing it too quickly. That happens each and every year. Ross, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Jets after the segment. I'm going to go to some side with Eddie and we'll come back to you, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the Jets. The Dolphins trying to New Jersey to play the Jets. Let me go to the stage over here. Let me go here. There we are. Eddie, let's go to how they compare. The Dolphins with a 25th ranked offense and the Jets with a 28th. The passing offense 27 for the Dolphins and 32nd for that. It's gonna be a offense, showdown at the Meadowlands.
Look at the sacks; they're almost the same.
Rushing offense before rushing offense, Dolphins 17. The rushing offense has gotten better for the Dolphins the last couple of weeks. 7 for the Jets. So good rushing offense and the scoring offense 24th and 25th. Going to the defense, 23rd for the Dolphins, 17th for the Jets. They have the better defense. 15th on passing defense for the Dolphins, and 10th for the Jets. The rushing defense 29th and 25th for 25th. The sacks. That pass rush is non-existent there, and the takeaways 15 and 32nd and 26 and 23. Let me go to the injury report. Here we go. Let me put my glasses because those are really small. Benito Jones did not practice today. Probably got some rest today. Brewer limited. Elijah Campbell limited. Darren Waller limited. Justin Fields is not playing. He's the only one that I see that basically from the Jets might be some trouble. On the weather, it's supposed to be very cold, but not expected to rain for the game. So we'll have to see how everything goes. Eddie, what are your thoughts when you see that matchup at first? The weather should be a factor just because the Dolphins cannot win in the cold, but it should not be that bad. What are your thoughts?
It's 40. That's not that cold.
Yeah.
I'd love to play in the 40. It's hot here. I'm tired of the heat. I don't know. It's like a mirror image, the two teams. I mean, it really is. They both kind of really stink. The weather should not bother them as much because they are running the ball better, Miami. Maybe the cold will help Tua, with his injured hips. It's like putting ice on something. I don't know. I'm trying to give you hope, Sammy.
I'm not confident. I cannot say I'm confident in the game.
I'm not confident at all.
I'm not confident at all. But still, it should be the Dolphins should find a way to win this game. There's no excuse for the Dolphins not to win this game. The Dolphins just should win. When you see that matchup, Ross, what are your thoughts? The Dolphins are favored by 2.5 points. When you see the matchup, the Dolphins aren't great. The Jets are playing better the last couple of weeks, but it's not going to be a huge offensive showdown for sure. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is going to be a nasty old school football game. A lot of running the football because, two best offensive players on both teams, Breece Hall and Stephon Achane for sure. Going into most games, they'd be like, oh, you get 3 points for being at home. So I guess, either Vegas is saying, bet on the Dolphins, or they're just trying to fake everybody out because we know Vegas loves to just fake us out, and then they win all our money. But going back and talking to some people on here, it's an AFC East rivalry game. It's
division games are different. Yes,
divisional games. I've always thought. The Jets should be able to win at home. They've been playing much better, but and I'm happy. I'm happy we finally put Tyrod in because I was rooting for Fields. I think he's got had potential if he could figure it out with his legs, with his athleticism, but he's just not an NFL starting quarterback. So I'm a little optimistic just because now they're starting to play better and putting in Aaron Glenn's plan. The first time they played the Dolphins, it could have been a win. It was the Dolphins won that game because the Jets had 3 turnovers and fumbled in the red zone. The scores could have been flipped. So you just just minimize hopefully get a lot of pressure on Tua. I think that's probably everybody's is let's knock Tua out.
Lots of blitzing from the corner because that's usually what gets Tua trouble. You start blitzing with the corner of safety, and Tua doesn't see it. Look out Tua because he's gonna get pounded sometimes.
But I don't put anything past this team if they play bad. Honestly, I'm not surprised they play bad. It's just like kind of it's being a New York Jets fan. But it's there's no love there. It's the Dolphins. There's no love between the Jets and the Dolphins. It's always going to be a good game as bad as it is, as bad as both teams are playing.
It's
right
always
now.
fun.
It's always fun, it's always, I expect just a nasty game. Not a lot of people are going to be watching it. I will be watching it for sure, but I'm expecting a lot of running the ball.
Yes. I'm not asking your opinion on this. I want to know what you think of the feeling of the fan base is. Do you think for the fan base is more important right now to beat the Dolphins or lose and get the better pick? Because so a lot of Dolphins fans, when the Dolphins were within reach of their first round pick, the first overall pick, like we need to start losing, and the Dolphins always find a way to win at the end and end with the 8th or 12th pick. But as a Jets fan, not you, but you, how do you see the fan base? What do you think is more important for the fan base, to beat the Dolphins, or if they lose, they say, I wanted to lose because I wanted the better pick?
Yes, yeah, Sammy, that's so hard for me to because I've gone into those years. I'm like, I think it's more important to beat the Dolphins. I think we're building something here. I think Aaron Glenn's they finally got the right guy in there who's going to bring his system in, the right GM. Hopefully, as we all know very well, hopefully our owners take a step back and shut up and have a little less involvement in football operations and players. I think it's more important to win. I think the fan base realizes that. As me personally, I've gone into it. I'm like, at one point, I'm like, I want a better draft pick. I'm like, and then the Jets start winning. I'm like, I can't root for my team to lose. I physically can't bring myself to do it. I'm like, yeah, I want this draft pick, but I think as I've seen, it's more important for the Jets right now to keep on improving. If that hurts their draft stock, fine. It hurts their draft stock because, as we've all seen, you could have the first overall pick like the Jags had. You don't get the right guy. I mean, you could get the right guy at look at Emeka Ibuka in Tampa Bay was the 19th overall pick, and he's looking like the NFC Rookie of the Year. So I mean, it's more important to win. I wouldn't bet on the Jets because if I bet on the Jets, and they lose, I lose twice. So I don't bet on my team.
That's a good way of seeing it. Yes, I like that. Russ, you mentioned the owner before I go to Eddie. You mentioned the owner, and I don't want to bash you because he's on you on the fan base, but Woody Johnson makes Stephen Ross look like Art Rooney because that guy always said, I know Stephen Ross sometimes puts his foot on his mouth, but woo, Woody Johnson every time he talks about, he basically buried Justin Fields every single time. It's kind of weird. Well, we over here in Miami, they criticize Stephen Ross because the Dolphins had no one at all, but the guy puts a lot into the Dolphins. The stadium is better, the facilities are better, and when he talks, sometimes he does, but he costs us a first and round pick. The Dolphins fans never go forgive him for that. But when you see the owner of the Jets, what are your thoughts on the owner of the Jets? Because
I mean,
I've seen a lot of frustration with the years with the Jets ownership.
Your sell the team's been going on for what, a year. Our sell the team's been going on for about 5, where half the time
more.
Probably more. Where people want him to sell the team. Now, will he ever sell the team? Probably not. The guy's a billionaire who owns Johnson & Johnson. So why?
It's a toy.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. But I'm hoping. I have hope. Do I really think it'll happen? Be like, hey, you need to just let the football people handle this and get out. Yes, he made the comment about Fields, which was bizarre. That's like a Jerry Jones type of thing.
Yes.
Did he end up being right? It probably was right, but still, it was still a bizarre thing to say about your own player. So sometimes I'm just like, and I'm sure you just shut up, don't talk, just be up there in the box.
Absolutely, Eddie. I gave you enough time to think about it. Let's talk about the final score, and you see the Dolphins winning. Do you see the Dolphins winning on Sunday? Do you have a final score?
I do not see them winning because Tyrod Taylor always plays well against the Dolphins.
True story.
He was on that sorry Buffalo team, and they beat Miami with him as the quarterback. Final score, probably 16-13. Watch this game be 55-51, but I think it'll be like 16-13. Jets.
Oh, you Ross. Jets. Okay. Do you have a prediction, Ross? Do you have a number you can say? I feel comfortable with that. I'm not gonna call. It's not calling, but as of right now, because things can change between today and Sunday. We all know that. But if you had to pick the game today, what would you say?
I went against the Jets the last time. I really don't like picking my team because I think I'm a jinx half the time.
Okay.
But I'll probably go out and say final score either way. 23-14, 23-17. I think it's going to be a very close game. I do think this is a winnable game for the Jets, the way they've been playing. But I didn't. Seeing you put up the injury report, Jason Browley has been very good for us. Who we traded for, who we got at the deadline. Hopefully he plays. So. I'm a little more optimistic because we do have Tyrod Taylor. I think he's more of an NFL quarterback. You bring his experience in there. If you saw the Bucs game, the offense looked better than, and yes, no Garrett Wilson, but John Mechie has looked good since they got him, which is great because I think he finally needed the time to if you saw him at Alabama and then he had the cancer.
Yep.
Needed an opportunity, and Adeline Mitchell was the same thing, who just got trashed because he made a boneheaded error of dropping the football before he got to the end zone there. But I'm a little more optimistic because of Tyrod Taylor, just because he is you got a veteran leader finally in the huddle there.
Messi was part of the trade, right? They got him in the trade. Am I right?
They got
Did
him.
they?
They got him earlier before the deadline, but they traded. I think they gave up swap 6. So
Okay.
they gave up a 6 and got a 7th and Mechie.
Okay. So I have the Dolphins winning, but I don't feel confident about it. It's more like 23-20, just because of the fact that I think that the Dolphins running game right now is playing pretty good. That jumbo package is really working. I'm not saying Tua is playing lights out. We all know they had a very, very bad game on Sunday, but the Dolphins have a chance if they keep running the ball, because the running defense of the Jets is not great, so they might be able to control the game. Russ, we appreciate you for joining us. Tell us where you can find you on social media, where you have cooking on FTSN.
Okay, yeah, you can find me Russ on Deck on Twitter, and then on FTSN. Every once in a while, jumping on the Dolphin show, being the Jets guy when they're playing the Jets. But you can also find me,
yes.
yeah, hey, it's fine. I've said it. I say it to Bobby. I'm like, at the end of the day, you're a good guy. You're a good person. That's all I really care about. It's just sports, if you talk some smack to me about my team, I back and forth. I really don't care. It's sports. But you can find me. I do College Blitz with Q from the I Hate Football podcast here on the network. We usually go Tuesday or Wednesday. We talk all college football, which is definitely hot right now with the Hurricanes fans jumping in there. And then I do the On Deck baseball podcast here on the network, where I talk every single team. So, and that's on Wednesday nights at 7:30.
Now that you tease it, I have to ask: does Miami make the college playoffs?
Oh my God! I think this week could get crazy. I got an opinion on both of it. I get it. Notre Dame has everybody bashing on Notre Dame. Yeah, they beat Notre Dame. I'm like, my thing this year is we could get 2 group of 5 teams in the playoffs. If Duke wins this week, we could see a JMU, a North Texas, or Tulane in the playoffs. I think they both deserve Notre Dame and Miami.
I agree.
I think if Miami and Notre Dame are right there, right next to each other, they have to take the head-to-head into effect. But so it's all going to come down. I think they need. I know Hurricanes fans. They need Virginia to win this week. They need BYU to lose, because that's the one team that's if BYU wins this week, it's all null and void for Miami and Notre Dame. It doesn't matter. They're both getting out.
Eddie, what are your thoughts? I want to know what you think. Do you think Miami gets into the college football playoff?
No, I think they're going to get screwed out of a spot. They're already doing these word gymnastics on these shows, and I don't know. They beat them head to head. They've had all common opponents. Miami's 4-0 against ranked teams. Notre Dame's 2-2. Something like that. I don't know. And putting BYU, I don't care if they had no losses. They're BYU.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. And they could add 20 teams. It still would be controversial. Miami's probably got one of the best defenses in college football. Their ends are Messidor and Bain are as good as they come. Them are good draft picks right there that you can't go wrong with either one of them guys. But I think they're going to get left out because they're Miami.
Russ?
I really don't know where I'm going this week. I think I'm with you. I think the 11-1 for BYU, but I think you got to put in their look at who they played. They played nobody.
Yeah.
Notre Dame. Yeah, two losses right off the bat to a very good Miami team on the road and Texas A&M. But if BYU wins this week, it's going to be not good. And Duke wins, it's not going to be good. I think the ACC screwed themselves with putting whatever they did with the computers. But I went like this. You're talking about 20 teams. I'm like, in all sports, it's all the fans. Like all this stuff going on is the fans' fault. We complain. We want it better. We out in the NBA, we want more refs, and we want more. To look at the calls. I'm like, now people, NBA viewership's going down really bad, because of that. College football, we hated the BCS. We got 14 playoffs. That was good for 2 years. Now, 12 teams isn't enough. We want 16. It's all our fault. People are always complaining. It's never going to be good. I'm like, someone's always going to get screwed here. But I'm like, 16 teams or 20 teams for a college.
Doesn't matter.
It's not the answer.
No, it's not. I don't care. You do not deserve to be in the playoffs if you lost to FSU, and Alabama lost to FSU. Nobody loses to FSU.
I always say the same. Follow the money trail. I think what's better for the networks is both Miami and Notre Dame are in. So I don't know. I live you. You are the experts in the college football playoffs and stuff, and the college football. But I do believe that the money always is
money always.
The higher power always prevails. So I'm gonna say both make it. Quick, Cowboys Lions tonight. Eddie.
I don't know. I don't know what Lions team is going to show up. What Dallas team is going to show up. It could be either one. I'm going with the Cowboys. But they're on the road, aren't they? They play terrible.
Yeah, it's in Detroit.
Lions.
Yes. Russ?
I'm leaning towards the Cowboys. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown out. That Detroit defense isn't as good as it's been in the past. I think the Cowboys are, if they lose this game, they're done. So I think they've started to figure it out. That offense is looking really good. The defense is starting to play better. So I'm leaning towards the Cowboys to get this W.
Over 220 watching all platforms. So I appreciate you very much. I don't remember who I picked for the FTV Pick and League. I think I picked Detroit, but I was hesitant because I picked them on Thanksgiving, and you know what happened. So Ross, appreciate you. Hopefully we're gonna have you on Fins TV during the off season before the draft to talk draft. Eddie, great as always, my brother. We'll talk next week, guys. Appreciate you all. Please always go to YouTube, follow the Finstock Sports Network, follow Fins TV on social media everywhere. So I appreciate it. As I always say, no matter what happens, win or lose, at least we have each other. Say, Eddie.
For now.
Thank you. Fins up.